What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and I just kind of want to talk about college a little bit because, if everything goes right, the school year is about to start again within the next month or two, and I know a lot of schools are kind of pushing back class and whatnot, and in-school instructions and whatnot. A lot of schools are just basically going to online only at this point as well, but I kind of, figured that just to think about how this would have been regularly had this whole COVID thing not happened, this would be about the time in which I would drop a video like this. And I've been kind of thinking about it a lot, honestly, because, it's usually when you drop out of college, it's a situation where everyone looks at you like you're a failure, right? You're looked at as someone who couldn't crack it or was stupid and didn't understand, and who wasted money to go to school, things like that. Well, I think my situation was a little bit different, and I think that maybe it can provide a little bit of insight, I guess, into, the whole college experience and whatnot, and how I fared and whatever. So when I got out of high school, I went to college for not very long, to be honest. So in high school, I got a lot of my college actually done. I was pretty well progressed towards having an associate's degree because I took a lot of college courses in high school, starting in my junior year. So my senior year, it was basically all college classes, especially in the second semester. And so that kind of gave me a pretty good head start going into college. But, when I got there, it was a little bit different than I expected, obviously. I feel like everyone goes into college expecting kind of the same thing because, you see in movies or on television, right, those big sweeping shots of the campus while everyone's walking on the pathways, the leaves falling off the trees, the bell ringing or whatever, right? Well, that's not really how college is. In fact, college is extremely stressful, it's very expensive, and at least from what I got out of it, it wasn't worth shit. Now keep in mind, I didn't go to college for very long because I had a very big thought with myself. I sat down and thought this one out and made this decision. This video is in no means meant to make you decide not to go. For a lot of people, college is worth the stress, and it might even be worth the debt if you get a good career and whatever. But for someone like me, that just wasn't exactly, I guess, the deal. That wasn't what I needed or wanted. So I started to blow up on YouTube during my senior year of high school. Literally right after we went back to school, I had my first million view video pop up, and I was making pretty good money out of it, I was making, probably about as much money as I would have if I was working 40 hours a week at a minimum wage job. And that was in high school when I was literally just focusing on school at this point. I had already quit my actual minimum wage job, and, in the later half or so of my senior year is when it actually started to become extremely fruitful and I was blowing up, quote unquote. I think I left high school with like 58,000 subs. And I was making a steady income at that point. I was making enough to where I could have feasibly probably lived on my own if I really wanted to. But, even though this opportunity was kind of developing, I thought, this won't be around forever, which I know now, of course, as well. But, I don't want to take the risk that this falls off in 2 months and basically mess up, right? So I continued with college, and I pretty much started immediately after high school. I actually even took summer courses because I wanted to get college out of the way as fast as possible. Now, I went to school for computer science. I was basically preparing for a life of either programming or working as like a computer IT person in a factory or something, right? That's basically, that was my backup, I guess, for if YouTube didn't work out, okay? So that's what I was going to school for, and, a lot of the things that I learned at school, they were interesting as subjects, right? I think programming is extremely interesting. Code languages, they fascinate me. Being able to create a language for a machine that tells it to do something very intricate is incredible. I mean, everything basically, your operating systems, they all do this. Your video games, all of it, right? That's how they work. It's from programming. I was learning how to, I was working with SQL and things like that, building databases and things like that. And after a few months, it started to get extremely stressful. Now, keep in mind that I was still doing YouTube all the time as well. I was, I was making enough money at that point where I could pay off school. I wasn't making, lavish amounts of money, but I was able to pay through school at that point. I was able to, get that out of the way, so I wasn't really like out here taking loans or anything. Which even if YouTube did flop, that would have been great because I would have basically been able to leave college, hopefully with no debt, which already would have been a huge head start on most college grads, honestly. But I started to get really stressed out because in college, it's weird, right? You pay tens of thousands of dollars to go. And then when you go, they make you take a bunch of fucking pointless classes, okay? Keep in mind, I was a computer major. They wanted me to take history classes, English classes, all kinds of different shit. And that's stupid, you know what I'm saying? I went to 12 years of regular school that is supposed to teach me all of these foundational skills. Teach me English, teach me math, teach me history, teach me basic sciences. I'm not fucking paying to become a computer major so that I can go take the same courses that I was taking in high school. But I digress, that a lot of the time that's how it kind of starts in college, right? So I was getting really stressed out, and I had mostly online classes, which are actually a lot more stressful than I thought they'd be. I'm really good at online coursework because I don't really have to fucking talk to anybody, and, I can just sit there and learn the subject, I think, easier on a computer than I can out of a textbook. But I had one physical class, and it was basically a computer fundamentals class. It was meant to teach you the basics of operating a computer, how to use some of the basic Microsoft programs like Word and Excel and things like that. And it wasn't anything crazy. You learned the names of the parts of a PC, which by that time I had already built my own PC and was getting ready to rebuild it, so I already knew all of this stuff. That class was completely fucking worthless, and it cost a lot of money. Now, I had to have this class in order to even really continue through school, so I had to kind of, grit my teeth and take that one where the sun don't shine, but this course was so easy that I literally ended up teaching the class for the teacher, okay? Because we're talking about a 65-year-old man who knows fucking nothing about computers. He's reading everything and learning everything as he goes through the same textbook that we're reading from, okay? So every time he was going to ask a question to get the class to participate or whatever, it literally just went to me. And I'm not saying this to sound like I'm some sort of fucking Einstein or something, because in all reality, the questions were literally like, what does CPU stand for? What was I going to say? The remote access memory? The power supply unit? Of course. What is the most popular operating system? Oh, it couldn't be Windows. Most people use Linux. It was so easy, and I ended up teaching the class within 3 weeks. And this is when I was like, fuck this, right? This is so stupid. I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my effort. I stopped going, okay? And the funny thing is, I literally missed so many days. I had a 13% going into the final test. The final test was worth 40% of the class. I got a 99 on the test, and I think the only one or two I missed were actually questions on the back of a page that I didn't even know were there, okay? And I ended up getting a 91 in the class because I turned in most of the homework that I had done the night before. Literally weeks of homework I did in one night because it was that fucking easy. And this guy, he tells me, it's the last time. And as a matter of fact, since I'd missed the final test, I had to come in and make it up on the last day the class even was possible. I feel bad because that guy had to come from home on a day he wasn't even supposed to be there to give me that test. I do kind of regret that. I still think about that. I feel bad that I made this fucking guy get up at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. It was kind of mean. But anyway, he tells me look, I know that you're extremely gifted at this stuff. You definitely know what you're talking about with it. If you just show up more, it would be better. So that's when I started to think a little bit, because I was already stressed out by the other coursework, and YouTube was doing better and better every month. And I knew that I could potentially take this opportunity that had been given to me through YouTube and turn it into something more. So I said fuck it, and I just dropped out. Why deal with all that extra stress for something that I probably will hopefully never have to use? Now, obviously, my family, they were not happy to hear that I had dropped out of college. They probably thought that I was a dumbass for doing so, because YouTube was such a fickle opportunity that in all reality, it probably wouldn't be around that much longer. But I guess the reality of the situation is, I believed in myself enough and was confident in myself enough with this whole thing to just take a chance, to step out of my comfort zone and to do something that most people would not do. When I had thought about it, I realized personally, I didn't need college. I didn't need college to be successful. What? I was taking a business English class. I need that to be successful? That's pretty funny because I fucking have brokered a lot of business in my time with like this YouTube channel and in other opportunities, and I've never used anything that I learned in that class whatsoever. And I paid thousands of dollars for it. And that's, I guess what I had to consider. That's the things that I had to break down. That was, I guess, the things I had to mentally metabolize in a way, right? Did I want to stress myself out and constantly put time into something that I don't care about anymore? Or do I want to take an opportunity? Take an opportunity that, sure, there's probably a 50-50 it doesn't work out. And do I want to try and run with it all the way to the end zone? I think I made the right decision with that one. I definitely am a lot happier and a lot better off doing YouTube than I ever would have been programming some fucking computer system in a factory. And it was hard. That was a very tough decision to make. I felt a very unique feeling when I told my family that I was dropping out of college. To see the looks on their faces when their son or grandson has told them that he's dropping out of college to make videos on the internet for a living. I mean, it wasn't easy, but it was probably the best decision I could have ever made. And everyone's circumstances are different. I mean, your circumstances probably will never align to mine. Don't take what I say as the leading force to make you make a decision, but I think that everyone should occasionally think about their best. What do you want to do? What impact do you want to make on the world, if any? What do you think about yourself? How do you feel today? How will you feel tomorrow? Is there an opportunity out there that you're aware of but aren't taking? Is there potential to expand in any way? If I had not started to critically think about things like that earlier on in my life, I probably would not be in the situation that I'm in today. So, while I said, of course, don't take me dropping out of college and saying that it was worthless for me as, I guess, the fertilizer for you to make your decision, but if you're going to take anything from this video, it's just to think. Think about what situations you're in. What are you doing from day to day? What could you be doing better? How could you be thinking better? Because those are the improvements that we can make that I think really can make us not only better people, but put us in better situations. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus, make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, the college dropout, and signing out.